We open beyond the wall with Bran Stark, who is still training his abilities through visions with the three-eyed raven. He's taken back to Winterfell as a child, seeing his father, Ned Stark, his aunt Lyanna, and a young stable boy who could speak. Revealing Hodor's real name is Willis, the three-eyed raven pulls him out, warning him about getting lost in the past. Back in the present, Meereen is struggling with their isolation and the coming war. Back at Castle Black, things are tense following Jon Snow's murder. Sir Alliser Thorne and his faction have taken control, demanding the few loyalists and wildlings hold up with Jon's body surrender. Sir Davos, the Night's Watch loyalists, and Tormund Giantsbane prepare for a confrontation. Just as Thorne is about to force the issue, the gates are breached by Tormund and a large force of wildlings, led by the giant Wun. The wildlings quickly overwhelm Thorne's men, taking them prisoner and ending their brief mutiny. In King's Landing, the atmosphere is heavy with the funeral of Myrcella Baratheon. King Tommen is heartbroken and ridden with guilt over the suffering of his mother, Cersei, and his wife, Margaery. Jaime Lannister tries to comfort him and urges him to seek Cersei's forgiveness. However, the High Sparrow prevents Tommen from seeing Margaery, stating she must confess her sins. Jaime confronts the High Sparrow, drawing his sword, but is quickly surrounded by the Faith militant and forced to back down. Receiving a warning about the Faith's growing power, later Tommen finally reconnects with his mother, Cersei, and they share a moment, promising to be strong for each other. Across the narrow sea in Meereen, Tyrion Lannister, Varys, Melisandre, and Grey Worm face a grim situation. The Masters have retaken the slaver cities and their fleet is gone. To make matters worse, Daenerys' dragons, Rhaegal and Drogon, are chained in a crypt, refusing to eat and wasting away. Believing dragons were not meant to be caged, Tyrion bravely ventures into the crypt alone. Recalling a childhood wish for a dragon, he speaks softly to them, eventually managing to remove their shackles in a moment of connection and courage. Up in the north, Ramsay Bolton makes a brutal play for power. Upon hearing his stepmother, Walder, has given birth to his father Rose's legitimate son, Ramsay immediately stabs and murders his father. He then tells his maester to send ravens falsely stating Roose was poisoned by enemies. In a horrifying display of cruelty, Ramsay lures Walder and the newborn to the kennels under the guise of introducing them to Roose, only to unleash his hounds upon them. Elsewhere in the north, Sansa Stark and Theon Greyjoy, still on the run from Ramsay, are spotted in the woods and finally reunited with Brienne of Tarth and Podrick Payne, who swear their loyalty and protection to Sansa. On the Iron Islands, Balon Greyjoy's estranged brother, Euron Greyjoy, makes a dramatic return. He confronts Balon on a stormy rope bridge, challenging his rule and mocking him, before throwing him to his death. At Balon's funeral, his daughter Yara vows vengeance and asserts her claim to the Salt Throne, but is reminded by a drowned priest that Ironborn law requires a kingsmoot to choose the next ruler, a position typically denied to women. Finally, we return to Castle Black for the episode's main event. With Thorne defeated, Sir Davos approaches Melisandre, who is wrestling with lost faith after Stannis' defeat. Davos implores her to use her power to bring Jon Snow back, reminding her of the miracles she has performed. Despite her doubts and admitted failures, Melisandre reluctantly agrees to try. She performs a ritual over Jon's body, cleansing him and chanting in High Valyrian, while Davos, Tormund, and Eddison Tollet watch intensely. After a tense period where nothing happens, a despondent Melisandre gives up and leaves with the others. Moments later, as the room is empty except for Jon's body and his direwolf, Ghost stirs and opens his eyes. Then, with a gasp, Jon Snow's eyes snap open. Alive once more,